Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for joining us for another rocking season of the MLC Today Show. Since last season, we have some new faces and old ones we have added to our cast this season. I'm Ricky Whitmore, and I will be covering breaking news and world news. Next to me is my co-anchor Julianne Roberts on MLC News. Next to her is Jeffrey, our history expert. We also have Thunderous Tom Vaughn on weather, Madison, Dominic, and Haley on the cameras, our tech crew Ben Wright and Spencer Smith, and our driver Uncle Rich. Later on, we will have Ben doing sports. We will also have an interview with Ben and Julianne, so grab your favorite snacks, sit back, relax, and enjoy the MLC Today Show. This evening on World News, I'm going to be reporting on Peter Jackson threatening to shut down the film The Hobbit. Filmmaker Peter Jackson has warned that production on The Hobbit movie could cease over a pay wrangle with acting unions. The Lord of the Rings director, who is the film's executive producer, said it faced being shut down or moved from its location in his native New Zealand. In an open letter, Jackson said shifting the entire project to Eastern Europe could so easily happen. Unions have urged actors not to work on the film due to the dispute. A number of organizations based in the UK, Canada, Australia, and the US have said The Hobbit's producers have refused to negotiate a deal with them. The International Federation of Actors said it was time for performers on The Hobbit to seek union contracts, adding that actors in New Zealand have struggled on non-union contracts for some time. And in local news, Justice's old job makes new one hard. Newest addition, Elena Kagan, who was involved in many of the cases. The panel is here, so she must rescue herself. Washington, Elena Kagan has become the Supreme Court's 112th justice, but anyone who wants to see her in action needs to be sharp. Kagan will hear the first case argued before the court today, then slip quietly through the burgundy velvet curtains behind the bench. She'll be out of the action in all three cases that were heard Tuesday. Her chair will be empty when the court returns next Tuesday, and she'll put in half a day the next day. Kagan's old job as Solicitor General, the 10th Justice, is initially making it hard to do her new job as the 9th Justice. Kagan, 50, has rescued herself from 25 of the 51 cases the court has accepted so far this term, all as a result of her 14-month tenure as Solicitor General, the government's chief legal representative in the Supreme Court and the nation's lower appellate courts. Now over to Julianne Roberts with MLC News.
Today I'm going to do the MLC News like we said. What is going on with MLC, Minnesota Life College? We had just had homecoming week and parents weekend. During homecoming week, we had lots of different activities going on. For example, we had an outdoor movie night, which turned out to be a football game night. We also had our s'mores night, went bowling, and had a tug of war with pizza for food to eat. On Friday of that week, we had to clean the campus and get ready for parents to come. It was a lot of hard work, but we all pulled it off. The parents' weekend was a lot of fun as well. There were a lot of different activities that went on during the family weekend, like the pig roast. We had pig roast that helped the MLC to raise money for the things like computers and other things that we could use. I went home for the first time since I got here. It was a little bit strange. I loved that I got to see my pets and see what my parents have done to the house because they told me that they were cleaning. Most of the students of MLC went home to be with their families for the weekend. They also went home to get away from the stress and drama at the school. We also have a lot of advertisements going on at the MLC. Lisa Barsh is doing some voice lessons and piano lessons. I, Delaney Roberts, am working on the newspaper as well as the show. There is baking going on every other Sunday by Debbie, the PA, the program assistant at MLC. There is also bowling and youth group going on as well. If you have any questions, email me at dreamer826@hotmail.com. I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. That's all I have, and I have one more story that's on about love. We all need to find a way to share the love. Love can be hard. It's hard to do. It comes in many forms. We have love ourselves, friends, family, neighbors, and so on. Sometimes it's hard to do. One of our favorite things is that we love ourselves, but it's hard to love others. It is written by me. When we find our love, we forget that other people are around and we want to be with others. Sometimes we fight with others out of love, but we need to learn that everyone is around and wants to be loved with each other. Funny happens to everyone when they are surrounded by love. Love can feel like you're fighting. You're always thinking about the person they love. Your heart can't stop beating. Sometimes when you are in love and you're dating, you want to be around that person nonstop. There is violence going on in dating relationships, and I don't recommend being in one if you're in one. Please try to get out of that relationship, even if you might hurt to love again. You can always find love again. It might be too hard to do, but you can do it no matter what. I am in love with a friend, and he's really nice. I don't want to leave him, and I love him dearly. That's how much I love him. There are some ways you can help spread the love to others. If you do a good deed for someone else, just listen to the person when you really need to talk to, and going to church if you have a religion. And there is so much more you can do to come up with. That's another way to love a person. For more information, please look forward to our next show. That's all I have for this part of the segment. Now to Town the Weather.
Hello and welcome to the weather statement. Weather in the United States. It was Minnesota's wettest summer of last month since 1900. Was 6.45 inches. And the weekend forecast. Yep, on Friday, October 8th, it's supposed to be 82 degrees, and a low of 54. And on Saturday, it's supposed to be a high of 82, and a low of 54 with sunny skies. Sunday, October 10th, partly sunny skies with a slight chance of showers or thunderstorms in the afternoon, with a high around 75 and a low of 57. And now on to Ben with sports.
Hi, everybody. This is Ben Sanchez with MLC Today Show Sports, and here's a little bit about Brett Favre. When the Atlanta Falcons made Brett Favre their second pick, number 33 overall in 1991, they had no idea what they had in the gunslinger from southern Mississippi. And unfortunately for them, they had traded for them to the Green Bay Packers. Before he had a chance to show what he could do. And just in his second season in the league, Favre entered the September September contest in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the second half, and the following an injury to starter John Makowski, and proceeds to lead them to a come-from-behind victory. The following week, September 20th, 1992, Favre made his first NFL start, a day that will eventually lead to a streak of consecutive starts that would exceed of all quarterbacks throughout NFL history. Along the way, Favre collected 3 league MVP, 9 Pro Bowl appearances, and a Super Bowl victory. He also has set numerous records, including the most career passing yards, most completions, most seasons with 30 or more touchdown passes, and most consecutive seasons with 3,000 yards passing. He also had the dubious distinction, however, of throwing the most interceptions as well.
I'm Jeffrey. I'm doing rock history and history. First, I'm doing the rock history of the band Paradise Lost from Halifax, England. They originally started out as a death/doom metal band and had evolved into a synth pop band, then eventually into gothic. And they have had 12 studio albums, and with the exception of the drummer, they've had a relatively stable lineup with Nick Holmes as singer, Gregor McIntosh as lead guitar, Aaron Adey as rhythm guitars, and Steve Edmondson as bass. They had gotten their name from the John Milton poem Paradise Lost. And now on to, that wraps up rock history. Now on to regular history. I am reporting on the Cuban Revolution. The Cuban Revolution took place during started in the 50s, and it was the overthrow of the previous regime of some of the man with the last name of Batista, and it resulted in the power of Fidel Castro. And when Fidel Castro took power, it was a very repressive regime, and he had made an alliance with the Soviet Union, and the U.S. had made a trade embargo and tried a few times to overthrow him, including the Bay of Pigs, and and the Cuban economy was mostly dependent on trade with the Soviet Union. However, when the Soviet Union fell, they've had to make adjustments, and they've allowed some gradual transitions towards more liberties. It's been over a period of 2 decades, and a couple years ago, Fidel had handed over power to his younger brother Raul, who has made more changes to what the government does, and the U.S. embargo is still in existence, despite the fact that the U.S. is trading with countries like China and Vietnam. Now on to more MLC Today Show.
Hello, welcome back to the MLC Today Show. My name is Ben Sanchez, and this is Julianne Roberts.
And this is Debbie, our interviewer, and also our PA assistant from Minnesota Life College.
So Debbie, is this your first year in MLC Today Show?
Yes, this is my first time I've ever been to a TV studio at all. And this is my first year working at the MLC,
In the program
in
as
the
well?
program. Mm-hmm.
Are you enjoying it so far?
I do, I love it. It's very fun and I'm happy to be working with you all.
What is your favorite part of the job?
My favorite part is probably the fact that I get to watch movies and play video games.
Yeah, especially with the Just Dance.
Just Dance is a very fun game. I highly recommend it.
Do you like working at MLC?
Yes, I do. I love it. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had.
How did you get hired at MLC?
Well, I just applied and then Rich contacted me. I came in and met up with him and some of the other staff and it seemed to be a good fit, so yeah.
Do you like children?
I do. I love children. I've worked with kids a lot and I'm happy to be working with a little bit older of a age group like you guys because you're not really children anymore, but you're still young too. So.
What is your schedule like back at MLC?
I work there 4 nights a week, and then I work Sunday during the day. So I work 5 days a week. So my weekend is not like a regular weekend. It's Thursday or Friday and Saturdays.
Do you have any other jobs besides being a program assistant at MLC?
I don't have any other jobs, but I do go to school, and I'm studying to be a teacher, and so that takes up a lot of my time. So it's kind of like another job.
Alrighty, and what is your favorite kind of cookie?
That's a tough one because there's so many good ones. I would probably say oatmeal raisin because
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like to pretend that it's not junk food, even though it really is.
Nah, I have to agree with you on that one.
What are your favorite animals?
My favorite animals, probably birds because I think they're really pretty and they symbolize freedom and yeah.
What kind of specific kind of birdie would you like?
I really like parrots and like parakeets because I had them as pets growing up and I think their bright colors are really cool.
Do you have any pets at home?
I do. I have a very large cat. She's gray and her name is Fawn and she's not as dainty as a fawn, like a baby deer, but she is kind of dainty. She's very cute and yeah, just that one pet, that's it.
What are your favorite hobbies that you like to do?
Well, I like to play music. I play the guitar and I play the violin and I sing. And I love to read and I love to watch movies too.
What holidays do you celebrate?
I celebrate a lot of them, but my favorite is probably New Year's Eve because I think it's exciting and I like to start afresh. I like to start the new year every year. I think it's fun.
If you wish you could anything in the world, what would you wish for?
Probably at this point that college was free, and not just for me, but for anyone who wanted to go to college, because I think it should be.
Nice.
What is your favorite dinner? Do you like Starbucks or Caribou and why?
Did you ask what my favorite dinner is?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Well, I like to eat breakfast for dinner sometimes.
Oh, I hear you.
So I really love biscuits and gravy, and I eat that for dinner kind of a lot. And what did you ask?
Do you like Starbucks or Caribou, and why?
I prefer Caribou because I think their coffee just tastes better to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to it all, but I prefer country just because no one else really likes it, and I figure someone has to.
Sounds interesting. I never, I do experience a little bit of country back in Wisconsin, but I never get a chance to hear it as much because European trance is one of my faves.
That's
And
a good one too.
one last question. What is your favorite football team?
Well, I didn't have an interest in football. Sorry, I know, it's bad. Until I started working at MLC, and you guys inspired me to actually pick a team that I like. And I am from Illinois, so I might say the Bears, but I'm actually going to say the Packers
Yeah!
instead.
Thanks for letting us interview you.
Yeah.
And that's all we have for now for the MLC Today Show.
Hi, it's Spencer. I'm back again for movie time, and as you can see, I no longer have a co-host, so it's just going to be me this year, folks, unless something comes up. Well, anyhow, my movie that I'll be reviewing tonight is Ralph Bakshi's Fire and Ice. It's an animated film and a little history lesson. Ralph Bakshi was a really revolutionary animator when he came out. He did actually more of adult themed animated films, like he did Fire and Ice, like he did Fritz the Cat, which is an animated movie with talking animals and stuff, but it was pretty graphic. It had violence, it had sex, it had drugs, it had all this fun stuff in it. And well, anyhow, he also did the first screen adaptation ever of Lord of the Rings. It was also animated, and it's kind of controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it. But anyhow, the film I'm going to review right now is Fire and Ice, and it's kind of a sword and sorcery film, kind of like Lord of the Rings, in kind of the fantasy genre, but it takes place in the kind of around where the Ice Age is happening. So it's kind of like almost a stone and sorcery film. And well, anyhow, it concerns an evil prince named Necron who is using his psychic magic powers to push a glacier into the path of all these villages and just decimate of it with using Mother Nature. And then he uses his army of cavemen to kill all the rest of us. Well, after he destroys one village, he accidentally leaves one survivor, a young guy named Lard, and Lard teams up with a mysterious warrior named Darkwolf, and they end up rescuing a princess that Necron his forces had captured, and together they band up to try to take him down. But I'll tell you, and I gotta say, folks, it's quite an adventure. It's some great animation for animation lovers. It's all cell and hand drawn. It also has a lot of rotoscoping, which is when they actually used live actors, but they kind of almost animated over them, kind of basically, if you ever seen the movie A Scanner Darkly, that's kind of what rotoscoping is, kind of just take an actor, but they kind of animate over them. But it has some of the most coolest action scenes I've ever seen in an animated movie. There's this awesome scene where the character of Darkwolf's pterodactyl in the middle of a big battle gets shot down by the enemy, and he leaps off it in midair and it's just epic. He just jumps off screaming, and he just lands it in, and he just keeps on fighting. It is quite something else. If you're an animation fan, you want something with a little bit more edge, I highly recommend it, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us at the MLC Today Show, and good night and good luck. I'm Ricky.
I'm Madison. I'm Julianne.
I'm Ben.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Haley.
I'm Jeffrey.
I'm Tom.
I'm Debbie.
I'm Ben.
I'm Dominic.
You stay classy, MLC.